and I co-host the Humans and Wildlife show, where we explore different types of interaction between humans and wildlife. And I have to say that what we're doing here today would be, totally included on that show.
Yes.
Drawing animals and using them as, like, inspiration for our stories and art is definitely an important human wildlife interaction.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of artists and interaction, we have with us I want to call her my co-host, Lindsay Badger here. I gotta get
Hello.
you in the right grid. Let's get
There
you
we go.
there. Lindsay, hello. Thank you for
Hi.
coming. It's a little bright outside.
It is a little
And then
bright.
we have with us Anthony, Gerald Bennar. He's ready to go. I mean, look
Hello.
at this. We've got
He's ready
blank
to rock.
paper, we got hands, we've got artists, and must say that we have Miss Brenda Tupper here. Hello, hello.
Hi guys.
Okay. And what
Nice
I'm
to
going
see
to
you.
have you guys do is what I'll do is I'll make the window big, but oh, who am I? Oh, I got to put myself in here, don't I?
Yes, please.
Let's do this. Hi, I am your host, Ani Buju. Tikwage ki iskorekwe in Disnikas, Mishiki and Doram, Mishilamaka Minising in Donjaba, Minoa Ojibwe Inishnabe and Dao. That's how I am doing this today because it is a special honor. As many of you know, I am a Native American, and my name is Michelle Alexander Jinkazad, but I am called Autumn Earthfire Woman. I am from the Turtle Clan, the Mackinac Band of the Ojibwe Anishinaabe people, Sault Ste. Marie. And so this is very exciting, and it's very much an honor when you came to us with this idea to do an artist slash, I guess, what we say, photography and wildlife science collaboration. We were more than thrilled. So I'm going to start with Dr. Christian. You can go first.
Okay.
Yes, just introduce yourself to everyone and
Yes.
explain to all of us what it is that you do and your origin story and all of that.
Yeah. First of all, Michelle, thank you so much for. It's an absolute privilege to be here. I really feel very close to artists myself because I'm a scientist. I'm a poor artist, I have to say, in a sense, not even a fraction of skilled as you are. But my sort of my tool is my camera. That's how I see the
Oh,
world. And
yes.
it's an absolute honor to be here, especially also with my co-host George O'Terry, and we have this Humans and Wildlife show, and you're very welcome to join it. We have that once a week, and I think hopefully Michelle and everyone else, this will be a success, and people will be inspired, and maybe more will be joining. Just a little bit about my background. So I've been around the world quite a lot. My father was actually a diplomat, in a German diplomat. So we moved every 4 years, as it is common for diplomats to move from country to country. So I was born in London, actually, in England. We moved to South Korea when South Korea was very underdeveloped, then to Germany, then to Israel. So I've been a few years in Israel, then South Africa, I've been for a few years, then in Namibia 1 year. Then I studied in Germany. I studied physics and electrical engineering. I worked for the German Aerospace Association. I developed solar energy, wind energy, all kinds of solar thermal, different renewables. I then moved to Sweden. I learned how to speak Swedish and worked for a large
Wow.
company there in the electrical engineering. I did superconductivity, fuel cells, about everything you can imagine. I then became a research director and company director, moved to England, stayed there for a few years. And then finally, in 2007, I moved to Canada, opened my own company here for a few years. And since 2016, I became completely independent, decided to run my real passion, my own social media. Um, I also learned about eagles here. So the fellow next to me, I'll talk to him in a moment, is a real one. As real as it can get. But this is not some kind of hologram. But anyway, my other passion is astronomy. I'm very much a scientist too. So I'm now an astronomer in charge for an Australian company called iTelescope, which is my main job. It's a dream job actually because I get to explore the universe. And my other time is spent now on wildlife and education, which I find incredibly important, conservation. And I've learned a lot from my friend David Hancock, and I'm learning a lot from my co-host Georgia also. is here on the
Nice.
show.
Very nice.
And that's basically it. I'll talk about him in a moment. Okay.
I love him. I'm glad that you brought him. He's
Okay.
gorgeous. And yes, it's so nice to meet you again, Georgia. You can do the same. Just introduce yourself and what it is that you do.
Yeah, my name is Georgia Auteri, and I'm in the process of getting my PhD right now. So hopefully, just one more year until I'm Dr. Georgia Auteri. But yeah, I study wildlife. Thank you. I study wildlife in general, and especially right now, I've been focusing on like their genetics and of how wildlife evolve in response to human threats, and particularly I look at bats, and I look at the bats actually close to where you are, Michelle,
Uh-huh.
in northern Michigan. The
Ooh,
bats there
Oh,
that are
nice.
facing the disease called white nose syndrome that people brought. It's an introduced disease from people, but yeah, I started off actually, being more interested, or I thought I was more interested in environmental policy, back when I was an undergraduate or whatever. I thought, this is the key to helping protect the animals and the wildlife is if we have good policy. But, I learned that really I just sort of guiltily in my heart of hearts, I just like getting out there and studying the animals and watching them and learning and
Nice.
seeing what they do. So, yeah, science was more of my calling, and yeah,
Okay.
doing this show with Christian, the Humans and Wildlife Show, has been, really, really fun for me and a great way to explore like different topics and all the different ways that humans and wildlife interact with each other.
Well, we're so happy to have you here and to have you live streaming, not just on HAPS, but out to all of the different multicasting that we're doing. Because what I feel that you folks are doing is communicating the work that you're doing in a way that's relevant and important to the species that you are involved in, protecting, and knowledge is power. So let's just do this. Hi, I'm Michelle again, the host here. I'm just going to bring people in, and Lindsay, if you will, just go ahead and make sure we have everybody in the proper space windows, because I'm loving that
okay.
background behind your moving video. I love that setup that
Oh,
you have, but let's make sure he has the right window. But with us today with the sketch party, and hello, I'm just gonna acknowledge people. Charles Petrie, it's good to see you here. Thank you so much, Desiree, for being here. I hope you can at least participate in some way. We do have an invite for you if you so choose. But thank you, Lucia, for the teamwork award. Yes, more of this kind of collaboration can take place. On Periscope, it was sort of solo broadcasting, maybe an audio guest at the end of it. But now you folks are collaborating in the masterclass kind of category. We're collaborating in the artist collaborate. We like to get together and sketch and also encourage and support one another. So there's so many aspects to this live streaming that we're doing. And I'm just so happy that you're here. So as I'm gonna go around the top seat, I'm trying to see who's there. We got blank pages around us because Dr. Christian here has told us we have permission as artists
Of
to
course.
see some of these amazing photographs to inspire us to create eagle art. Now, I have to ask you, what made you think of bringing us artists into the fold, so to speak, of this collaboration? I'm pretty sure it was your idea in a sense, to just like, hey guys, how would you like to draw some eagles? You were in Jeremy Stoltz's broadcast, and
Well, absolutely. A great question, because I mean, a lot of the areas where we go, even in British Columbia, of course, are owned by First Nation here, and I have had some beautiful introduction from some First Nation people, and this was completely new to me. It's a culture I wasn't used to, because I only came to North America in 2007. But I understood the deep ingrainment of the eagle, and many other, of course, the salmon and everything that is related to that
oh
in
yes,
the North American culture, and that's something that really piqued my interest. And I saw, Michelle, you were holding an eagle feather there, and
yes.
that's, even me having this fellow here, or I should say this beautiful her, is something very
Oh,
special. For example, in Canada, we are allowed to collect eagle feathers, which I believe
Yes.
is not possible in the United States unless
Right.
you're First
Correct.
American, right?
Correct. Unless there are special um, registered
Right.
federally registered tribal members. Usually they have actually even a certain person, like a cultural preservationist or even a repatriationist who understands the laws and is able to obtain a card.
Right.
And even then, it's very difficult. But yes, I actually got my feather from in Canada.
Mhm.
It was much
That's
easier.
interesting. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot of but that in a lot of ways that's a good thing in that we did in the United States, I believe, had some I'm going to put myself on camera. I feel like I'm just letting you just hang there by yourself. But while the artists are getting themselves together and we're going to introduce them in a sense. Oh, I had to use a takeover. I did that wrong. Oops, I'm just going to bring everybody in. I'm not clicking the buttons right, Lindsay.
I'm
Nothing new
sorry.
there.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
no, it's my fault because I was like, I forgot that I did a takeover. But anyway, yes, let's just kind of go around. I was gonna go around and do the artists, but first and foremost, I kind of want to give you the floor, in a sense. So let's do this. I'm gonna just kind of interview you a little bit because that is one of my former professions as well. Working for a tribal and Native American news outlets. Let's do this. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this right. Um, let's get you here. I'm sorry about this. I should have had somebody else control the controls. Should have let somebody else do this. Where are we? What am I doing?
Are you
Oh,
trying
there
to
we
put
go.
us up in order? I always get
No,
it
I'm
wrong.
actually trying to do just Dr. Christian
Gotcha.
Sasse and
I
myself.
think you're about there.
I'm just about there.
Let
There we
me
go.
take
I just
myself
have
off
to
then.
undo
Yeah.
everybody. I mean, I could do a takeover and then that's about it. But anyway, oops, we got this kind of backwards, don't we? No, this is not good. I don't like it. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, I did want to talk a little bit about the culture since you brought it up. So I will gonna go first on that one. Hey, thank you, Pablo. Hello for this. Thank you for the super heart, and thank you everyone. But yes, I am a traditional Native American, and I'm from, like I said, I introduced myself from the Sault Ste. Marie tribe. But I want to talk about this eagle feather in a sense, and why I have it, and why it's so hard to procure this, because there was a time, as you recall, of the history where eagles were endangered and they were being shot by people just randomly. They're really needed to be protected, not just as a symbol of the United States, but as a species. And we take that very hi, Desiree. I'm going to bring you in a second. This happens at the beginning. We always kind of come in and out because there's so many people that join when they can. But what we have is a culture clash almost that has now become a culture cooperation, and we have laws that protect um, the eagle, because any animal that's being hunted to extinction is pretty much wrong. And I would say that Native American voices have been pretty strong in that, and we've always felt like we were caretakers of the land. We never took it for granted that we were just the two-legged. Well, there's four-legged. There's folks. We see them as beings that we cohabitate with. They're just as important as any human. And so it's a big part of our culture. But for me, Nimki Magizi, the thunder eagle, is a very spiritual animal that represents something that can see far. And so it tends to be a part of both babies that come from the creator, and that first walk of life, because they have their whole life ahead of them. So there's a lot of symbolic references to eagles, also with elders and veterans. And to have an eagle feather is something you earn. It's an honor. It's like a badge. It's like a medal of honor, like a veteran would in the war. And so to have this, I'm very humble, and it's interesting that you are also very humble in talking about just being a photographer of eagles, how humble it makes you. So I know you have that affinity and that idea or understanding, which I'll have you talk about here in a second, about what the eagles bring to you in your spirit, and also that the why you chose the eagle. But for me, yeah, I was not given this lightly. I have to take very big responsibility with this because we use these in our ceremonies. We use these to talk to the creator. The eagle flies closest to the creator, and so therefore brings our prayers to the creator. And so it's a very, very special relationship that's to be honored and to be protected, just like the animal itself. So thank you so much for this opportunity. But I'm going to give you the floor again, and we're going to set this up again with the buttons. Should I just do a takeover there, Lindsay, and then we'll have everybody ready for joining in?
I think,
sorry.
Michelle, we have a bit of an echo here. I'm not sure where it's
Yeah,
coming from, or
we
am I the only
did.
one who hears it? Just before we go on.
I heard a slight one.
I heard a
and-
slight one. It might be that I'm too close to my microphone. We'll see. I'll
It's
just
okay.
turn that down. Okay.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I
Anyway,
love your backdrop.
I know. Isn't that awesome?
well, thank you very much, Michelle. I really feel honored to be here, and I'm sure that's exactly the same why Georgia is just as enthusiastic about this as I am. And just the way you talk about animals is just fantastic. I mean, fantastic is not even the right word. I'm lost for words, but I love your connection to nature. And I have so seen that with the First Nations here in British Columbia too. Not that I have a lot of experience at all, but the few that I have met were always very open. I've seen the way they've been carving wood and so on. I think we have an echo somewhere, and I'm not sure if I'm the culprit or where it's coming from. I'm not sure. I hope it's not me.
I actually kind of think it is because I just muted everybody but you. So
Okay, hang on.
we've got help in here.
I see. There's
Pablo coming in. Here we go.
a
I'm going
mobile
to try and figure this one out.
that's still
Why I'm the culprit? Let me just figure this one out.
the Gerald's
that?
bar is still moving, even though it says it's muted. So I don't know if it's that or if it's somebody else. I can't confirm or deny.
Well, we have someone I think that's going to help us out here. He can figure it out. But Pablo is here. But while we're waiting for that, okay. Okay. All right. I think I'm just going to go one by one. And while we're waiting for. Oh, nope. It's still echoing.
Yeah, not sure where it's coming from. Not sure where it's coming from.
It's
Okay,
not
Pablo
for-
said it's not me. Yay!
Yay! I've muted my camera. It
Oh,
is
Pablo
Anthony.
says it's Gerald. I'm just so. Thanks for that, Pablo. That's really helpful because there's nothing worse than having echoing. So we apologize for that.
Well, I will unmute him and mute him again. Okay. Is that fix it? Okay. Nope.
It's weird.
That's very strange.
It's weird.
It is everywhere.
Well, I know Pablo's very helpful, but
Well, Anthony, I think I'm just going to